Hello everyone and welcome to the Firearm Firm channel. I hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving last week. I definitely did. I took the week off and went up to Tennessee to visit family. But while I was out, ATF was busy setting a trap for anyone who possesses a solvent trap. So what exactly is ATF up to? Be sure to stick around and find out. For those of you who are joining us for the first time today, I'm attorney James Phillips, a former prosecutor and a founding partner of Katz & Phillips PA. Last week, ATF sent out an open letter to all federal firearms licensees, FFLs, notifying them that they are going to pretty much consider all solvent traps to be unregistered silencers, which means anyone who has a solvent trap could be arrested and face felony charges in federal court. So let's take a couple minutes and let's look over this letter that they sent out. The letter starts off, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, recently examined devices commonly marketed as solvent traps and has determined that some of them are firearm silencers as defined in the Gun Control Act and as defined in the National Firearms Act. Solvent traps are marketed as devices that attach to firearm barrels to catch excess solvent used when cleaning firearms. ATF has not classified any device as a solvent trap because that term does not exist in the relevant federal statutes or implementing regulations. To determine if a solvent trap is a silencer, ATF is going to compare the makeup of the solvent trap to the definition of a firearm muffler or firearm silencer found in 18 U.S.C. 921 A25 and 26 U.S.C. 5845 A7. The term firearm muffler or firearm silencer is defined as any device for silencing, muffling, or diminishing the report of a portable firearm, including any combination of parts designed or redesigned and intended for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer or firearm muffler, and any part intended only for use in such assembly or fabrication. According to the letter, some of the devices commonly marketed as solvent traps have been determined to meet the definition of firearm silencer because they have objective design features and characteristics indicating that the device is for reducing the report of a portable firearm. Although solvent traps are generally marketed as having an intended use other than as a silencer, example, filtering firearm cleaning solvent, that is not determinative under the statute. ATF must consider a device's objective design features, including the uses of which part is capable as part of the inquiry into whether the device is a silencer. ATF then goes on to give a couple of examples of what they will be looking for to determine if a solvent trap is really a silencer. In their letter they wrote, for example, holes or marks indicating where holes should be drilled that allow the passage of a projectile are clear indicators that device or component parts may be properly classified as firearm silencers, because this allows the propellant gases to expand and cool. By contrast, a hole serves no purpose in collecting solvent or debris and is actually contrary to the purported use of a solvent trap. The presence of indexing marks to drill a hole is not a prerequisite to classification as a firearm silencer. It is merely an example of such evidence. Other such characteristics may include baffles, spacers, ported inner sleeve or tube, expansion chamber, end caps, and dampening material depending on the particular design of the device. While increasing the effectiveness of a firearm silencer, these same objective design features offer no advantages in collecting or filtering cleaning solvent. The letter further goes on to address the fact that many companies that make solvent traps assert that they are allowed to make these items and sell them because they are not firearm silencers under federal law. Why? Because they are not completed. However, as stated in their letter, ATF explains how this is a false belief. In fact, Congress explicitly chose to regulate a combination of parts intended for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer and any part intended only for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer. Accordingly, a silencer part intended only for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer is itself regulated as a firearm muffler or firearm silencer under both the GCA and NFA. For example, a silencer end cap falls under the federal definition of a firearm silencer or firearm muffler at 18 U.S.C. 924 subsection A25, and therefore it is regulated as a silencer under the GCA and NFA, even when the silencer end cap is individually sold and transferred and not installed as a component part of a silencer. Therefore, the importation, manufacture, and transfer of such silencer parts must comply with the provisions of the GCA and NFA. So if you have a solvent trap and you are worried about ATF's letter, you can file a Form 1 and register it as an NFA item? Yeah, unfortunately not. It's too late for that. The manufacturer of the solvent trap would have had to do that prior to selling it or transferring it to you. Now, here's why I'm saying ATF has set a trap for solvent traps. The last paragraph of the letter reads, current possessors of these purported solvent traps that are silencers are encouraged to contact ATF for further guidance on how they may divert possession. If you are uncertain whether the device you possess is a firearm silencer as defined by the GCA and NFA, please contact your local ATF field office. You may consult the local ATF's office webpage for office contact information. So, ATF, who is saying you are committing a felony by having a solvent trap, wants you to call them to let them know you're committing a crime. Now, you don't have to be a criminal defense attorney to see the problem with this, and if you don't see the problem, well, you probably shouldn't own guns in the first place. So what should you really do if you're worried about ATF coming after you because you have a solvent trap? It's real easy. Call an attorney who has experience handling these type of issues and dealing with ATF. They can provide you with legal advice and suggestions on what you can do. Be sure to let us know what you think of ATF's latest trap down below in the comments section, and don't forget to show your support for the Second Amendment by clicking on that like button. Last thing, if you made it this far in the video, you obviously found some value to it. So take an extra second and subscribe to the Firearm Firm channel if you haven't already done so by clicking on that subscribe icon located down below. Until next time, stay armed and educated.